Welcome to another episode of Addicted to Gear. I'm Tony. So as you guys probably know, if you've been following my channel, I post a lot of new content on the channel on a regular basis. And along with that content comes a lot of questions and comments that come to me in the form of email or just regular comments on the channel. I do my best to try and answer all of these questions, but unfortunately sometimes I just don't have time to get around to every single one, even though I try hard to do so. So I thought it would be a good idea to do a 10 question segment on a regular basis here on the channel so we can go over some of the comments and questions that I receive, and I'll share it with all of you because I'm sure some of you are interested in the same type of comments or questions. So this comment comes from Terrace Bulba. Well, I just bought one of these, but with the HSS configuration for 250 euros yesterday. The guy I bought it from installed locking tuners, strap locks, and replaced all of the pickups with an assortment of Warman pickups. Didn't know about this cheap brand. Let me tell you, it's the best bang for the buck I've ever paid for a guitar. It truly sings and has quality looks and feel to it. I have more expensive guitars, and this Squier sounds even better. The only drawback is the jack output that seems flimsy, and the nut, which can be better. But hey, we're talking about a $20 upgrade. It's a really quality guitar. Chinese guitars are getting so much better. Well, Terrace, I can't agree with you more. I'll post a link to that video up above. And that Squier Contemporary that I reviewed just blew my socks off. Of course, you can always upgrade it. You can upgrade the pickups like I did. You might want to upgrade the nut as well. I didn't do that. Some people want to have better quality tuners, maybe install locking tuners, but that's up to your discretion. For me, the Squier Contemporary works really well as is, or can act as a really good modding platform if you're into that kind of thing. So the next question comes from Belt B Foods, and he says, do you think that if you put a Gibson Classic 57 on the bridge, it will sound even better or not? Currently, I saw that this one is the same as yours and comes with the Alnico 5 burst bucker. So Beltby was referring to the video I made, and I'll put the link up above, reviewing a brand new 2012 Gibson Les Paul Standard. And I was just noodling and playing some basic sounds so people can hear that. And the burst bucker pickups that come in that guitar are quite good. A lot of people do like the burst buckers. I, for one, I'm a big fan of the 57 Classic. So to answer that question, I feel personally that the 57 Classics would make the 2012 Gibson Les Paul sound just a little bit better, in my opinion. So the following question comes from Jean-Marc, and his comment says, your review made me buy this guitar and I'm totally satisfied with the overall quality for this price range. I own a PRS, a Fender, and a Halkstrom. This guitar works up to that level of quality for half the price. I totally confirm your review. Completely impressed for less than 300 euros. Thanks again for such a detailed review. Well, Jean-Marc, it's my pleasure. That's the reason why I put out these videos for you guys. I'll put the video link up above for that video. That was the Harley Benton Fusion 2 full review that I did. And I have to say that the Harley Benton is knocking a lot of people's socks off, especially for the amount of money that it costs. You get a lot of really high quality features in a very budget-friendly guitar. Check out that video if you're interested. All right, now not all of the comments are positive comments. Some people have little complaints, and the following comment is from Sailing Ravenwing, and he says, if you are buying or promoting the sale of CCP intellectual property theft guitars because it is cheap, I guess you are okay with your cheap stuff being built by enslaved people. I have no problem with products made in any free country. I have a problem with CCP enslavement of billions. You are likely unwittingly promoting and economically aiding this ongoing enslavement. Let's see now if you respond or just block this comment. This review and this comment comes from my review of the Harley Benton SC450. P90, right? And this guitar is made in China and is sold through Harley Benton. Now, the whole discussion on CCP, intellectual property, and all that kind of stuff, that goes pretty deep. I guess if we're talking about, people copying stuff, blatantly putting a Gibson logo on a guitar that looks like a Gibson guitar, I have problems with that. That's basically counterfeiting, and I don't promote that in any way. If Harley Benton is able to sell a guitar that looks similar to a Gibson Les Paul, and is not infringing on any copyright laws, then what's the issue? I don't see a problem with that. The fact that it's coming from China, I mean, I can't prove that this guitar is made in a sweatshop or anything like that. I hope it isn't. I hope that Harley Benton sources its products from companies that are doing whatever they can to stop that kind of thing. I, for one, I'm looking for a good quality guitar for a decent amount of money. A lot of stuff comes from China, and I can't be held responsible for how the company works. I can only decide where I want to spend my money, and if I feel that a company is infringing and selling blatant copyrights, I definitely won't support them by buying products from them. So I hope this answers your question. All right, so this next question comes from Japalo, and it's regarding the Sigma acoustic guitar that I did a full review on a long time ago. I'll put the link up above for you guys. And he says, update, I've had this guitar for 4 years now, and the sound has gotten better the more I play it. For the money, the sound is incredible. I've tried many sub $1,000 or euro guitars, and the Sigma guitars have to be the best. The quality is excellent. The only component that I changed were the plastic bridge pins that warped off, so I replaced them with bone pins. I had to have a luthier expand the holes. Another minor nitpick is that the battery rattles around a lot if loose, so make sure it's well secured. Overall, a great guitar. So in that video review, I talked about how well I love that guitar. I picked one up for my nephew, and I really liked the sound that it had. At that price, it was a steal. It reminded me a lot of the Martin guitar line, and it had a lot of similar characteristics in the sound as well. And if any of you are looking for a good quality, affordable acoustic guitar, check out the Sigma line. You won't be disappointed, I'm sure. Okay, so Bird Screamer 69 wanted to know if the Jackson JS that I reviewed has neck dive like the Kelly or the King V. The Jackson GS series guitar, which is a great affordable guitar, put the link up above for the full review, is very balanced. I don't feel that there's any neck dive with that guitar. So rest at ease, you won't have that situation. The next comment comes from Ben Gibson. I don't know if he's related to Gibson, but I better be careful or else I might be in trouble here. And his comment is referring to my review of the Japanese Godo PAF pickups that came stock in my Japanese Tokai guitar, which I replaced for Tesla Sharks from Iron Gear. And he says, Godos sound fantastic. Tesla Sharks sound just that bit better in a distorted tone. They seem a bit fuller and brighter to my inexperienced ear, only been playing for 30 odd years. They push the amp into a better place, personal opinion only, but I feel that the original pickups would benefit from a bit more gain. I've just edited my response as I've added a like to the video. I love your presentation and lack of bullshit. Well, I don't know if I can say bullshit there, but Ben, I appreciate those nice words. I try and present information as honestly and clearly as I can. And yes, I did feel that in the room, the Tesla Sharks did have a little bit more bite to them and did handle the distortion a little bit better. Although the Godos, the original Godos that were in the Japanese Tokai, were unpotted and definitely had more of that harmonic breakup that I do like, I guess caused by the fact that they were not potted. So they're not too shabby in their own right. And honestly, if you're not really picky and you don't want to experiment with other pickups, you could be perfectly happy with the original Godo pickups that come stock in that guitar. The next comment comes from Simon Eric, and he says, instead of a useless unboxing, we'd have preferred some music tests. And he's referring to my video on the Harley Benton Fusion T that I did. So sometimes I like to present all of the information, and if that's too long, I'll usually make a second video where I'll be doing a playthrough. So Eric, if you missed it, check out my other videos for that. I'll put the links up above. So Mr. Rick 350 had a question on the Obsidian wire system that I installed in one of my guitars, and he asks, how did the install go for you? Wish you did a video of that. Hopefully it was easy and just what you wanted. Please let me know, as I'm considering this for my 2013 Les Paul with a PCB. Well, Mr. Rick, the reason why I didn't do an installation video in that particular case is because it was very difficult for me to actually be able to film what was going on in a very small cavity with my big hands in the way. You wouldn't be able to see anything. So I didn't feel that it would be worthwhile presenting that information in that sort of way. So I just presented the information after the fact. The installation, however, went very smoothly. There's no big issue with installing this type of system into your guitar. It went very smoothly, very easy to do, very detailed information, and I'm sure anyone would be able to handle this type of installation. It's no real issue at all. So don't be afraid. If you're considering this solution, definitely go for it. I'm super happy with it, especially if you're a type of person that likes to experiment with many different types of pickups. So Rob Bob had a comment on my review of the Fender 52 reissue against a Squier Classic Vibe. That video got so many views, it was incredible, and most people walked away from that video flabbergasted because they didn't expect the Squier Classic Vibe to actually sound better, or they didn't expect themselves liking the sound of the Squier Classic Vibe over the 52 reissue. And I just wanted to show in that video that sometimes, you know, you shouldn't shop with the price tag. You should actually shop with your ears. And so Rob Bob says, I just found this video in 2020, and I also bought a 2014 Classic Vibe Telecaster. I like the Telecaster A, and it seemed to have won this contest. I've owned many American-made Telecasters, and they have all been good, but these Classic Vibes are wonderful. So I said it before and I'll say it again, I'm a big fan of the Classic Vibe Telecaster series. They're honestly great guitars if you like the shape of the neck and you don't necessarily want to have something that you have to baby all the time and you can just play it like a workhorse. The Classic Vibes are the way to go. In my opinion, you don't even have to change the pickups, they just sound that good. And if you haven't already watched the video, check the link up above and you'll see what I mean. All right, so Missy M5424 had a comment, a pretty extensive comment about the video I did where I talked about how I got tinnitus. And she says, yeah, all us musicians suffer the most. I've damaged my right ear more using headphones for listening to my loop pedal music, and man, I realize now how loop stations are not designed for blasting into your ears. Thank God I never used both headphones, just one, because I'd be suffering really bad. I have permanent tinnitus and loss of some hearing in the right, and I know it's been the loop pedal that did it. They are designed for studio, open bands, and street busking life, etc. But me stupidly putting up the volume all into my tiny eardrum like that, with many layers of different instrument sounds from a loop creation, from drums to vocals, my eardrums definitely paid the price for it, and it's no joke now. I give anything to stop the tinnitus and get back that hearing loss. I'm only 28 and it's a serious wake-up call of how fragile our ears are. Look after them, peeps, because once the little hairs on the middle ear are damaged, there's no going back. They can't regenerate and you need to live with the severity of damage. Please be careful. So Missy, I'm really sad to hear that you're suffering from tinnitus as well, and I couldn't agree with your comments more. Hearing loss and hearing damage doesn't just stem from playing into a guitar amp or playing drums. You can definitely damage your hearing just by listening through music with your headphones in your ears and putting the volume up too high for any substantial amount of time can cause this issue. And take it from me, people, it's no joke to be living with tinnitus. I've been super careful with putting in hearing protection now because I really don't want to have even more hearing damage. And anytime you play any type of loud music, please be careful and protect your ears. If you're interested in watching that video, I'll post the link up above. All right, so this is going to be the last question of this video, and it comes from Old Boy in Georgia, and he's referring to the video I did on the Blackstar JJN combo amplifier. And he says, I have the HT5, which is also a Blackstar amplifier, with the 210 speakers. It's made very similar in the way the back is designed. It's a real pain in the trying to hook up cables. I don't see the point of not having everything right on the back so you don't have to stand on your head. So what he's referring to, for those of you who don't own a Blackstar combo, is the fact that Blackstar likes to put in the inputs and outputs for the effects loop and other things, not necessarily directly on the back panel this way, but it has a little lip and you have to sort of go underneath, and it's tucked in the bottom of the back panel. So you can't really see where the inputs are very easily without tucking your head underneath or tilting over the amplifier. I totally agree with Old Boy on this one. I think this would be a lot easier for everyone using this type of amplifier if Blackstar would make this design modification in the future and just make it very easy to plug the stuff in directly. I understand why they're doing it this way, because it does tuck in the actual cable, makes it more streamlined and protects the cable from accidentally getting hit, but it does come with some compromises. So overall, if you're a Blackstar fan and you have a Blackstar amplifier like this, you'll know what I mean. So that's the end of our question and comment video for today. I hope you like the fact that I'm taking the time to answer your questions right here and sharing it with all you guys. If you enjoy this type of content and you like the fact that we're sharing this information with you, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. And if you want to ask your questions directly to me in a live situation, I'm live most of the time on Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Addicted to Gear channel. Mark it on your calendar and you'll be able to ask me your questions right then and there and get an answer right away. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Addicted to Gear. Stay tuned and keep rocking. See you soon.